today because I'm a little bit confused and I want some clarity. Education either matters or it doesn't. Does it matter? Yeah! Does it matter? Yeah!
Five, four, three, two, one.
We hate budget cuts!
Yeah.
What do you think the worst part of budget cuts, at least educational budget cuts, is?
I don't think there's any one worst part. I mean, overall, it's larger class sizes, fewer supplies, fewer teachers. So, I mean, it's just an overall poor impact to student achievement.
I'm for them. I think, no, obviously there shouldn't be any budget cuts. I'm against it. I'd like to keep my job. I mean, it's one of those situations, but it's just, it's essentially tough because the simplest solution is something that's not going to happen.
I think the educational budget cuts is it's just very hard right now to do with. Like, I understand that the government's trying its best to make the economy better here in Nevada. It's just that, you know, why is he concentrating just on education, like taking money from education, when he could just take it on something else? I just feel like it's unfair that he's taking money from a concentration, you know, like just one concentrated subject instead of just like, you know, just raising taxes. But no, he can't do that because he promised that he will not raise taxes. That's why I feel it's unfair. You know, I understand these budget cuts, but what these budget cuts are for, it's just not fair.
So when you say he, you're talking about,
I'm talking about
Brian
Governor
Sandoval.
Well, I know that a lot of teachers got cut, and shit, that's about it.
Honestly, at this moment, it's like my feelings would be that it doesn't really affect me since I'm graduating as a senior, so I could really care less.
I've been through 4 years of budget cuts now, going back to my freshman year when our state faced 4.5% reductions. Now we're looking at cutting $700 million or so from our state general fund education budget allocations. We're looking at Clark County School District facing $400 million in budget cuts. The results are going to be drastic.
If it wasn't education, what should be cut in Nevada?
In Nevada? Is that near Nevada?
Nevada.
Okay, I was confused there for a second. I would say what would need to be cut, I don't think we can cut anything. We are the 49th state out of 50. If I'm just helping the classroom know if they knew there's 50 states.
Thank you.
That essentially we are spread thin on all fronts of programs, and people are suffering greatly in Nevada. We will become the next Michigan and Detroit if we head down this road. It's a scary thing. People need to pay taxes. It's that simple for our state to survive. I know that sucks, but I don't think people realize how much government affects their life on a day-to-day basis when they don't pay taxes. So
I wrote this pretty emotional letter about how, you know, I'm speaking in behalf of the entire, you know, Nevadans. Like, just raise taxes, Mr. Sandoval. You know, it's not fair. It was not just education's fault that our economy's down. It is not the teacher's fault that many other unemployed people will have no jobs. It's not their fault. So how come he's just taking money and, you know, I already said this.
In your opinion?
In my opinion, you know, I think we need to, there is administration that needs to be cut, not specifically at school level. I think when people say administration, that's the first thing they focus on. But
Are you talking about politicians?
no, I'm talking about like district-wide. There are people in positions that I'm sure are important, but honestly, I have no idea what the assistant to this region superintendent person does on a daily basis, and I think that's when people focus on top-heavy administration. That's what they're thinking of.
So do you not like a top administration?
It's hard for me to say again because I don't know exactly what a lot of them do. I'm sure they do something that's important, but
Is it because you're on film?
pardon?
Nothing.
No.
outside of education, what should be cut?
I don't know.
Nothing?
I don't have a good answer for that because I'm not informed enough on the other parts of the budget.
Over the past couple of years, the district has already cut back on that, eliminating block scheduling at most schools, except certain schools where the principals have been able to allocate money for it. Cutting back on the allocations on technology and other supplies. So we've already cut back on what's not been bound by contract. If there is anything left to cut,
yeah. So what else is there?
I'm not quite sure, because we're down to the bare bones now. Now, keep in mind, granted, earlier I did say looking at things that are not necessary. Surely we can look at, do we really need to spend a lot of money on a lot of new technologies when maybe that money should be going towards teacher pay? Should we really be spending a lot of money on buying all these certain school supplies when we should be talking about investing in technologies that go towards student achievement? So there's a lot of picking and choosing that the school district will have to do. But looking at the grand scheme of things, there are some things that might be considered unnecessary spending. Certainly we need to make sure that the money is being spent when it goes to the classroom. But there's not much of that left. We're down to the pay for teachers and staff. Unless somehow the school districts and unions can come together, depending on what the budget cuts are. Unless they can come together and come to some agreement, we might see thousands of teachers and staff.
So how do you think it will be in 5 years?
5 years in Nevada would be horrible. Education is going down basically because of these cuts, which is going to lead to uneducated students, people not bringing their talents out, people not wanting to be who they want to be in the future. And if we can't fuel our kids that fuel this state with hospitality, with sports, with whatever we have, like, I don't think we really will have a future in this city of Las Vegas and of Nevada, basically.
I don't think there'll be anything but grown-ups here. There's no kids want to be up in this fucked up system after 5 years.
What do you think all the teachers who are going to be cut will be going to?
Denny's, Best Buy.
Sounds logical.
Minimum wage jobs, probably.
So do you think all their education, like, let's zoom on that bachelor degree, would go to waste?
No, I mean, you'll always be good at trivia or board games, but at the end of the day, I mean, you just have to hustle to get a job, especially in Nevada. A lot of teachers will move. They'll move back to their home states, they'll move back to states that are hiring. They'll get out of here, which will totally help our foreclosure and unemployment rates.
I'm very concerned that with these massive budget cuts, we're going to lose the programs, we're going to lose the activities, and we're going to lose the things that allowed me and my fellow students and my friends and everyone up to this point to achieve. And I'm very worried that we might go back, and when in fact we should be ensuring that future generations of Clark County School District students and Nevada students as a whole have better than I have had, or than my fellow students have had, or that my friends have had. Our future students need to have the better opportunities than we have had, and I'm very worried that we might go backwards from that if we have huge drastic budget cuts that lead to losing the programs, activities, and mentors as our teachers that have helped us to achieve. So I do hope that our state leaders keep that in mind, realize that we need to invest in the future, realize that reform won't work unless we have the resources necessary, and in the end, put aside the partisan politics, look at the numbers, look at the figures, listen to everyone's perspectives, and make the best decision for the best interests of our great state.
All right. Hi, I'm LG Del Roca.
I'm Ryan Brown.
Christian Cassie.
Well, basically, this video was about the education budget cuts and what everybody at Valley thinks, and we just wanted to show everybody basically what everyone's opinion and how they'd be affected and that kind of thing.
And now we're going to talk about our opinions. towards these budget cuts? We're going to start off with Christian.
Yeah. So basically, I think if the budget cuts keep going the way they are, the classrooms will be packed. Teachers are not going to want to teach, and they won't have that personal relationship with students like they used to. And basically, kids won't get the same education that they've gotten in the past.
I know that education is something that's a really, really big part of the state, and to cut it is really beneficial to run the budget and to replace the lost money that they don't have. But education is also the most important thing that a person can have, and it's basically your future and anybody's future who wants to move on in life and have a better education, a better life.
Exactly.
So taking away education is basically taking away your future.
Exactly. And I'd like to add on to that, basically, all these governors and politicians, how they had their education, and now they're basically stripping that away from us, which is unfair. It's what else is it?
Contradicting.
Selfish in a way.
Selfish. That's what I was looking for. Selfish. And I don't think that's right. Basically, like they should give it to us because we are the lowest in the state, right? No, in the nation. Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those.
And it's just gonna put us in a deeper hole.
Yeah, that's basically it. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. And Ms. Torres, give us an A.
Ms. Torres, we need an A.
Please give us an A. Maybe a B. I don't know. All right, let's go.